Okay, so I'm pretty much going to be doing a voiceover for this entire thing because it turns out that the audio from the camera ended up crapping out completely, considering that we were trying to be professionals and actually use to lavalier microphones, but it looks like I just messed up the configuration, so that won't be happening anymore, which means that I'm going to be doing a voiceover for this instead. However, as you would be able to see on camera, we currently have, well, at the time at least, we had 4 entire sets or boxes of ghosts from the past. I think that they're so called cases. And I also got 2 promo cards. Apparently, it was just 1 per box. Well, 1 per 2 boxes, I should say. And it was for Blazing Hita. Which is not exactly a very good card. However, we did end up getting that, and for the rest of it, we're going to be unboxing all 4 of these boxes right here and just seeing where it actually takes us. Let's see if we actually end up pulling an evenly matched. Let's see if we actually end up pulling any ghost rares at all. I mean, I bought 4 with the purposes of hopefully being able to get 4, but let's see what that ends up landing us on. And yeah, like a lot just ends up going on here. And I suppose that it's up to you to decide if this was a rather underwhelming or over the top unboxing. However, by the end of this, I'm going to be telling you all if it's even worth spending this much money on this many, because, well, it is at the end of the day not the cheapest set, and it's only 3 packs per box. So like in these fully square boxes, you get 5 separate boxes, and each one of those boxes contains 3 different packs, and then you get to pull a bunch of ultra rares from those and just hope that the one at the very back is a ghost rare. And then each one of these ghost rares could be worth anywhere between, I think, $400 to $600. It really does depend on the ghost rare. However, we're going to be digging deep through these and actually seeing what we can get. And as you will be able to note, a good chunk of these is really just going to be a lot of the same card. A lot of the same cards in general. Like, there's just going to be a bunch of Dragunity support here, there's going to be a bunch of Metal Foes support here, some El Shadal cards as well. Some cards that I didn't really even at the time recognize that were worth a couple of bucks and all. However, again, considering that we are getting about 15 packs per case over here, we don't really have that much to play around with, but in total we did have 60 packs. And again, I do apologize that this is instead a voiceover. However, I am going to try my best to still try to get the idea across here. And boy, oh boy, as always, I definitely struggled to open these boxes up, to the point where I ended up having to reach for a plastic sword to go ahead and open these up, which is indeed a shame. But however, I did end up getting a little bit of an upgrade later on. These boxes do look very nice in and of themselves, and each one of these boxes, I think it's worth somewhere between $30 or $35 or something like that. So like already, you know, just for 3 packs, it might still be a little bit too much money to spend just on 3 packs. The only way that something like this could end up becoming worth it at the end of the day is if you actually end up pulling a ghost rare, and the chances of that happening are going to be pretty low. And considering that we actually went through 60 entire packs of these, well, let's just say that we definitely expected a lot more out of this. And I just hope that you very well enjoy all of this beautiful B-roll that we got, even though it is devoid of audio. But as you can see, there's going to be a lot of Heretic support as well, even some low-level synchros, which I wasn't exactly expecting over here either, even though we did get like a list of cards that were going to be included in this set, so I did think that was actually pretty interesting. And moving forward with this, you're just going to see that this pattern is going to continue to repeat itself as we move forward here. And the packs are pretty much going to consist over here, like with the cover art of the Ghost Rare Dark Magician, of the Ghost Rare Blackluster Soldier, Soldier of Chaos, and I believe that the other goes for artwork was for Firewall Dragon, like the alternate artwork for him. So yeah, like at the end of the day, within these packs, you're pretty much just going to be met with a lot of the same cards. Now, some of these were actually worth somewhere between $5 to $6. We actually pulled a couple of $20 cards, like for instance, there was this Synchro Supernova Dragon. I tend to forget his full name. I believe he was a level 12, but apparently he's worth about $20. And we did obviously pull a lot of Galaxy Eye Cypher Blade Dragons. That was one that whose name is going to be etched into my brain for quite a while from how many of them we actually ended up pulling. But that's really not that bad of a pull in and of itself. Though we did definitely get some garbage along the way that we didn't necessarily want. And unfortunately, a lot of those ended up being Madolche cards because they ended up reprinting a couple of Madolche cards in here, and well, these cards are pretty much worth pennies at this point. So yeah, like when it comes to these boxes, you're definitely going to be taking a gamble here. And even though opening packs is always a ton of fun, well, obviously when you end up spending a good amount of money, you do expect to at the very least get something good out of it. However, it is unavoidable that this is only a gamble, and there's only so much that you can actually expect. But as you will continue to see, it's just like a bunch of heretic support. And there's also this Sun Valon archetype that I just recently became aware of. And we did pull a bunch of those like tree link monsters as well, which in and of themselves apparently were actually worth a little bit, like a couple of bucks, which isn't really so bad. But still, we ended up pulling so many of it, and it's not really even like there are that many cards in this set either. But one really cool card that we ended up pulling, at least to me, is Red Eyes Black Meteor Dragon, I believe his name was. It was that fusion Red Eyes monster that was really nice. And no, I'm not talking about Red Eyes Dark Dragoon. That would have been a sick reprint, but they definitely weren't going to do that for this set. And like I keep saying, it is pretty much just going to be a lot of the same, like pack after pack after pack, until we end up pulling some good stuff along the way, of course. And by good stuff, I really just mean like stuff that that could be worth at least $10 or more or so. So like I did end up buying this many as well, because I was hoping to be able to fill up my binder, or at the very least upgrade it with some more hollow cards and stuff, like stuff that people might be interested in seeing, or they might be interested in buying, because I always do like having a nice looking binder, even if it is like just for the sake of collecting and all. So yeah, like I did used to have quite a few ghost rares in my binder before I ended up selling them. Obviously they aren't nearly as valuable as the ones that come in this set over here from Ghosts from the Past. But yeah, I did still have some pretty good stuff in there. And then over here, we are going to find some other support, and that Ultra Salvage is actually a card that my friend over here would definitely be interested in, considering that he is currently working on completing his Ice Barrier deck, and he could definitely benefit from something like that. He did already have commons, but I mean, come on, if we already have a rare version on here, like the ultra rare, then might as well just hand it over to him. And there are definitely some cards in here that, again, we really did not realize were worth anything, considering that we did have our eyes dead set on like very specific cards, in particular evenly matched, which we did actually end up pulling, but it did take quite a while before we actually got to that point. And all of this kind of just made me realize that maybe this was just a little bit too big of a gamble, considering that after everything was said and done, after we ended up going through every single one of the 60 packs that we had here, from the 4 cases that we bought. I am calling them cases because I think that's what they are, considering that what's inside our boxes. And yeah, but after going through all of that, we still unfortunately only pulled one evenly matched, and we didn't get a single ghost rare. Now, while us not getting a single ghost rare is understandable, we were hoping at least for more high value cards like that evenly matched, or maybe a couple more of that red supernova synchro monster. So that was definitely unfortunate, and considering that each one of these cases costs about 130 bucks, like including that supposed in-store discount, we did still end up spending over $500 on these, which is basically how much one of these Ghost Rare cards could have ended up costing. Though this isn't really all bad and everything, considering that we did still get some cards that I could put into my binder, but unfortunately, we did not end up getting a lot of cards that we wanted, and there were still cards in this set that we didn't pull that weren't even like some of the Ghost Rares, that they were still like on the higher priced side of things, but nonetheless, we were at the very least expecting to see one of those, considering that we did have 60 packs in total. So that was just kind of strange that we didn't really come across some of those cards. But again, it's not really like these 4 boxes were total garbage. It was just that we didn't really get what we wanted out of this. So at the end of the day, with all of this said, and with me going through these rants and all of that, ultimately, what I can say about this is that maybe buying 4 boxes of this, while I'm sure that I just got unlucky, I probably would not recommend it either way, because I have watched also other videos from other YouTubers that have been posting their own unboxings, and they haven't really pulled any Ghost Rares either. They haven't been getting so lucky either. So it looks like really getting that Ghost Rare from here is just really that difficult. So these boxes, like buying them individually, I mean, it could be worth it, like just if you want to have some fun opening packs and that kind of thing. However, otherwise, maybe it just really isn't worth it if you're specifically hunting for that Ghost Rare, or if you're hunting for that evenly matched even. Because at the end of the day, your odds of getting any of those cards are definitely pretty low. I mean, us going through 60 packs was not enough for us to actually get any of these. We ended up pulling that evenly matched on the very last pack of the very last box, so, you know, yay. But that was pretty much about it. Now, I had to say, I did have fun with this, but of course, it ended up becoming pretty redundant when we ended up pulling so many copies of the same card. So it would be nice, of course, if in the future, hopefully, I end up pulling something much nicer. I might continue to buy these, maybe just like one case at a time, though. I don't think I'm going to make any more bulk purchases like this of a set like this, considering that the cards in it were never really meant to be that special. But just keep this experience in mind as well for yourself. People will get discouraged from this, of course, but hey, I think that it is at the very least worth noting that, like any other Yu-Gi-Oh box opening, you know, it's always going to be a gamble, and this is probably one of the biggest gambles, considering the cards that are in the set, and the good ones are, you know, it is pretty tough to pull, and especially going for Ghost Rare. So with that said, hopefully you still managed to enjoy this video nonetheless. I really wish that our audio with our live reactions was still here, but hopefully we'll do better for the next unboxing. Now, do make sure to stick around if you did like this content either way. I would very much appreciate it. And if not, I totally understand that too. But with that said, this has been Francisco with another, well, my first unaudioed vlog and Yu-Gi-Oh unboxing, but there are still going to be many more of these. And until next time, enjoy.